The DC universe has lots and lots of cool superheroes. However, most people tend to focus on the super trinity of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And the rest of the roster of classic heroes is just thrown away. But one perfect example for people to shift their focus to is the Scarlet Speedster, the Flash, and today we're going to focus on him and his story, the untold truth, and how he is more powerful and has more under his belt than just running fast. Enjoy! The Flash has an evil twin. Malcolm Thawne, not a very familiar name for many of you except the die-hard fans of the comic books, well, he's an evil twin of the Scarlet Speedster who wore the mantle of the Flash in the 1950s. The evil twin stories tend to be classic storytelling tropes, and of course for a good reason. It sounds outlandish and a perfect way to throw something unusual in the mix. One night, two women in labor arrived at the same doctor's office. The doctor had been drinking heavily and one of the babies got strangled by its umbilical cord. And the other woman, Nora Allen, gave birth to twin boys. Not wanting to admit his mistake, the doctor gave one twin to the other woman, Charlene, and one to Nora. Thus, the birth of Malcolm Thawne has become reality. He eventually found his true parentage and utilized his family's powers through a blue flame to become an evil twin of the Flash known as Cobalt Blue. The flame giving him the ability to steal the powers of his opponent, thus making him one of the few supervillains who can actually keep the pace with the Flash.
Flash! Now you'll feel the real power of speed!
The Flash used a treadmill. The thing that is widely known to everyone is that the Flash is fast. That's his thing. He is so fast that he can actually travel through time. However, with great power comes great responsibility. We all know that. He can't just go running through eras in history, it's too dangerous. So he had to come up with a solution that will help him control to which time in the future or the past he goes to. And the solution turned out to be the silliest, most comic book solution ever: the cosmic treadmill. Wild, right? The treadmill powered by cosmic rays allows the Flash to travel through time more accurately. He puts the codes for the year he wants to go to and just starts running, and once he reaches the desired destination, he just has to keep the molecules of his body moving in a certain way until he's ready to leave. Simple as that. Which for him is a very easy thing to do. The cosmic treadmill has been a staple in the comics as it has been used in many different storylines, and plus it's also goofy in all the best ways. Don't you agree?
Okay.
Barry Allen gave himself his own powers. With The Flash, there are all sorts of time travel and parallel universe shenanigans as it can be expected from the Scarlet Speedster. For example, Barry Allen got his powers when a lightning bolt hit several vials of chemicals. However, this bolt was not an ordinary one, but Barry himself from the future. In the Ultimate Paradox, Barry Allen gave his Flash powers to himself. Why? Well, all of this comes from the battling with his eternal nemesis, Professor Zoom, in the miniseries The Flash Rebirth. Barry discovers that much of the tragedy of his life is stemmed from Zoom, him repeatedly traveling through time to destroy him on many occasions, so the only way to prevent this tragedy was to push Zoom far beyond his limits of his powers. And as an aftermath, the Flash turns into a lightning bolt that grants the younger version of himself his powers, and creating the Speed Force itself. The Speed Force's protection. One of the most common debates is that because of his speed, the Flash might hurt someone when he tries to grab that someone and save them from being hit by a train. When he's running at a super speed to catch that someone, the person would just explode at his touch. However, the origin of the Flash's powers explain how this troublesome fate is avoided. The source of his powers, the Speed Force, which is essentially a timeless, primal force of nature, is actually an elemental force just like gravity. So, as an aftermath, it provides a kinetic energy the Flash can tap into it, thus letting him control his powers and knowing that his speed is a part of all movement and kinetic energy. The ones who can control it can use it to protect those they touch, granting a bit of Speed Force's powers to whoever they touch. There you have it. Now you know, no more headaches from thinking too much about it.
What?
Nothing. I just noticed you don't smile too much.
The Flash is protected from telepaths. Super speed is Flash's mojo. However, he's more than that. He can also think and react with supersonic reflexes as well. His mind moves so quickly that he actually has a natural resistance to telepaths and other psychic attacks. His thought process moves too fast for any psychic to keep up. Considering how the Justice League battles with some of the strongest psychics in their universe, prime example being Maxwell Lord and Gorilla Grodd. This ability of his always comes in handy. These kinds of villains use insidious and secretive methods to keep Batman and Superman out of the equation, but the Flash is strong enough and powerful enough to withstand their attacks and help his fellow heroes when the opportunity is presented to himself. The Flash nearly joined Arrow. Over the years, the CW has built a very impressive shared universe called the Arrowverse, with its lineup of DC-derived shows like Supergirl and Arrow, and also a big part of this universe is The Flash. It was the second show of the Arrowverse to debut, following Arrow in the process, but network executives were unsure if it was even a good idea to begin with. The thought of Barry Allen getting his own show, what a big turnaround, right? Grant Gustin's Barry Allen was introduced in Arrow, and the showrunners planned to keep him there, not knowing if the character was strong enough to pull off his own series. Originally, Wonder Woman was supposed to appear after Arrow, but the project failed, and thus The Flash, we all know and love today, was the aftermath of that failure. Not a bad one, can we all agree? We can all be satisfied, despite the series turning into a movie, Wonder Woman, as we can all see the success the series has right now and what it delivered so far in its own way.
I'm also the Flash.
You're also the what?
The Flash?
The Flash?
The Flash will kill as a last resort. A number of well-known superheroes will refuse to kill, with Batman being the main hero to be associated with this ideology. Most superheroes tend to follow this central detail as it is the main one that eventually separates them from being supervillains. Our boy, the Flash, is a little bit different in this aspect. Now yes, he won't go around killing everyone in his path, but he often uses his pragmatic approach and determine if killing someone will ultimately be the best solution. If that's the case, then he'll not be opposed to ending someone's life. Throughout history, there are a few examples of the Flash willfully taking someone's life, but none of them stand out as well as Eobard Thawne, or Reverse Flash, a name he's more famous for. Eobard traveled back through time to hurt the close ones to Barry Allen over and over again, with one sole purpose of driving him insane and eventually replacing him. And Barry, after eventually figuring out he can't really stop Reverse Flash because of his time travel abilities, he broke his neck in order to keep him from hurting anyone else, ever again. A gruesome thing to do, but if we look at the big picture, it doesn't sound that bad. On a related note, tell us down in the comment section which of these details about the Flash you didn't know about, and what was your first thought on them. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.